Hello, this is Randy Dean, author of Managing My Life, Taming the Email Beast. This is Randy right here on the screen, so you know who you're talking to. I will now be leading you through tutorial number 4, which deals with the topic of creating folders and subfolders inside of your Microsoft Outlook inbox hierarchy. And this is pretty much a basic skill that you're going to need to have if you want to follow my strategies for keeping your email account down close to zero. So let's go ahead and jump over and take a look at my Outlook inbox. Here we go. In essence, what I want you to do as you're inside of your inbox, you'll notice that right now, I'm going to take a little look at this, and in some of the previous tutorials I gave you a little hint on this. You'll notice that my inbox has this little plus sign here. In the inbox, when I have the plus sign, I can open this up and it shows you that I have a series of folders that I have created inside of my top level inbox folder. And the reason that I've done that is because I'm trying to follow a philosophy when it comes to managing my email that once I've either gotten the embedded task that's inside of a new email completed, or I have at least put that task in my task list, be that a written task list or inside of my Microsoft Outlook task planning tool, what I want to do is not keep that email inside of my inbox proper, inside of the top level inbox folder, because what I've noticed that myself and a lot of other people do is that if you leave an email inside of your inbox, even if you've gotten the task identified or even completed, if you leave it in there for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, you'll come back and read it again, sometimes multiple times, just because you cannot remember if you did it or tasked it or not. And really, if you're rereading things that you've already done or at least put on your task list, most professionals simply do not have the time to be able to do that. And so what we're going to do in this one is show you sort of the process of creating folders inside of your inbox, and then the process of actively being able to move messages around once they are inside of your inbox. So to set this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab this email here out of a subfolder and move it back into my top level folder, because what I want to do is show you how I can create folders and then move a message related to one of these folders right inside of here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come over here to my inbox proper and I'm going to right click. Now notice what happens when you right click. It gives you a whole series of potential options of what you might be able to do inside of this folder. So what I'm going to do right here is obviously take advantage of this one, new folder. And that brings up this little pop-up window that gives me the capability to create a new folder inside of the folder that I had originally selected. In this case, it was my inbox. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an exclamation point, Randy Stuff. And now by doing that, what it's going to do is it's going to create a new folder called Randy Stuff right inside of my inbox folder. Now notice here, a little sub tip here. Notice that by putting the exclamation point, it allows that folder to circumvent or supersede the normal alphabetization process. That's easy for me to say. So as you can see, now this folder is moved up near the top and I can actually utilize it very quickly if it's one of the folders that I think I'm going to be using most often. And by having this folder here, what I can now do is take any message that's inside of my inbox that's related to Randy Stuff, and I can do a left click, hold, drag, and drop right into that folder. And as you'll see, now that email has moved from inside of my inbox folder right here inside of the Randy Stuff folder. Now I'm going to move it back because there's another way you can do this too. We're going to go back to the inbox. You can also take a message that is inside of your inbox, and in essence, one of the options that you can have with this, notice I'll open this message up so we can take a quick look at this. You can also go up here to File, Move to Folder, or use the keystroke Control plus Shift plus V to do a folder move also. So there's a couple ways to do it, but what I've realized is that rather than doing the open and file and drop, that drag and drop really helps save time when you're moving stuff around between the folders. And since I've got this message now and I can move it out of here, now that email, because it's a completed email with the tasks completed, any contacts created, necessary done, and or any new calendar events that need to be brought out, now that I've gotten those things identified, completed, I move that out of my inbox top level folder Out of sight, out of mind. I know it has been handled. Now I will not be tempted to reread it again just because I cannot remember whether I did it or not. And that is the key reason that you want to create this folder structure and hierarchy. Now, another real quick tip before we talk about that just a little bit more, I can right-click on the Randy Stuff folder and go down and do New Folder and type in More Randy Stuff. And now take a look what happens when I do that. Now I've got a folder inside of a folder. You can create as complex a hierarchical structure inside of your folder archives as you would possibly wish. You could make it 6, 7, 8 levels deep if you so desired. But now here's the watch out if you're going to do that. The deeper you make your folder structure inside of your inbox, the more complicated it becomes, and frankly, the harder it might be to find those emails if you ever wanted to go back and find them again. Here's my simple rule for managing a folder hierarchy inside of your inbox. The reason that you have it in the first place is you've got emails that you want to save but that you don't really want to look at again unless you need to go find them for a reference reason. But if you move these into the folders and your folder structure is too complicated, it might take you some time to find them, and you might even possibly lose them. That's the risk of putting them in here. Here's my simple rule. I'm sure you've heard of it before. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Here's sort of my rule. I try to keep my folder structure wide, but not deep. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of top-level folders here. But what I don't like to do is have a whole bunch of subfolders that are going too many levels deep. See, I go about 2, sometimes 3 levels deep inside of my folder hierarchy because sort of my philosophy is I want to get to that folder where the email is I'm looking for in 2 to 3 clicks maximum. Because if I start having it 6, 7 levels deep, 1, it just takes more time to get to the email I need, and 2, I've basically created a folder structure that's going to make it that much more difficult to find the messages that I need when I need to. Now, when we get into later tutorials, we're going to talk about the capabilities to do a search for emails as well as to use your sent folder as a way to help you find messages you may have lost inside of your inbox filing structure so that you can have even more confidence moving these messages out of your primary top-level inbox and into these subfolders as you need to. We'll also have a tutorial that will talk a little bit about archiving capabilities so that once they get filed into these subfolders, you can also basically take those folders and turn the messages that are inside of them into an auto-archival process. So that keeps the message account from getting too big and too bulky and not working as well as it should be anymore. So that's the next tutorial there. One final little tip before I end this one. Since I really don't need the stuff inside of this folder, I'm going to take this email, I'm going to move it back into my inbox, and let me show you one little final thing. Of course, at any time you want, you could either rename a folder and or delete a folder. And in this case, I am going to delete that folder because I don't really need it anymore. And thank you for your time and attention. This has been Randy Dean. I hope that you found this new tutorial useful. Hope you have a great day.